The following program is a production of Inked Geek Studios. Hey everyone, welcome to episode 9 of the Geek Access podcast for August 1st, 2014. I am joined today, as I always am, by Kory.
Hello.
Brandon is absent this week, but we do have two guests, both returning guests, Kyle and Rick. How are you guys this week?
Hello. Back because y'all miss me.
Oh yes. Oh yes. Yes we do. I
Just
suppose. A little bit.
A little bit. I'll take it. 1%.
I need more anime lovers. More anime.
It's like from Dumb and Dumber, like with that Fallout meme. 1% chance. So you're telling me there's a chance?
Yes.
There's a possibility there. Well, that works. Well, that's cool. Kyle, I think we've heard from you the furthest away, or the least recent. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
It's been a while.
It's all good. How you been?
I want to eat the rest of my sandwich.
the basic scene is Kyle is down with sandwiches.
Kyle is down with sandwiches.
So, but yeah, I've been playing some games. Nothing crazy. So
That's almost as bad, and I'm going to call him out, and if he listens to this, he'll give me shit. That first week that Steve was on, and I'm like, Steve, how's it going? And he's like, well, I've been working a lot. It's like, way to bring up something that pertains nothing to the show.
And I hate to do this to Steve. He is up north, and like the only person Steve hangs out with is me. And it's like 2.5 hours away. He's like, hey, so what have you been doing? I'm like, oh, working a lot. He's like, oh, me too. I'm going to come down this weekend. 2.5 hours later. Nope, I'm not. Because Nicole's here. She's out of work. And I guess we're doing a date night.
Yeah.
God effing damn it.
No, that's how it was when I had that Hearthstone tournament at the game store. He's like, yeah, I'll be there. Oh, wait, hold on. We had guests last night. They stayed late. Oh, wait, hold on. Never mind. It's like 9 o'clock at night. I'm not going to make
When
it.
is the next one anyways? Because I'm not doing enough the podcast. I know we're all doing this, but
It's I know this is horrible radio. It's still up in the air. I've got the clear to basically do it whenever with the store. A lot of it's my personal work schedule that's interfering. So there will be one, whether it's a fireside gathering or a money entry tournament. I've talked about both. I've been working on both. A lot of it is just figuring out my current work schedule, but it is coming. I think at this point, I want to wait until Nax is fully released. That way, everyone can play around with their Death Rattle decks. So
yeah.
I don't want to.
I don't want to.
Yeah, I don't want to do a tournament like mid expansion pack release. Like that just wouldn't work out too well.
And just forward, I'm not being pompous, but I have been asked, and if I still can, I will shoutcast that. And I see what you fuckers are doing. So I want to see that. I want to see some top tier Hearthstone play. Like I want to see some top 30 NA play. Like I want to see it.
All right.
I know there's people that can do it. I know they can.
Yeah, no,
It's all the simple mistakes. It's all it is. If you just think 2 moves ahead, it's those simple mistakes. If you can nullify those, you can get way up there. And I know there are people that can do it. I've actually met some waiting in line for a pre-release at midnight on GameStop. I know they can do it.
people still go to those?
No.
It's been a while. I think the last one I went to was Halo 3.
Yeah, one of the last ones I went to was Cataclysm. I actually went to that and I didn't download it.
Yeah, didn't you? I think you gave my wife a ride home from that because I had to work that night.
I think so, but I will be going to the Destiny one. I will be there with my super Ghost Edition of Destiny.
I'll be there. I'll be there. Well, it depends. If I end up finding myself a Ghost one online, then I'll just wait for it to get delivered. But
I'm just gonna download it.
You're not gonna get
it. Of course you are, Kyle. The Asian downloads it. The Asian uses technology. Of course.
Do we have to pick on Kyle's nationality every time he's on the show?
No, it's the smartest choice, and you know it.
It is.
Yeah, no. He got some jibes on it.
It is.
If you
want to,
I got to go with the race.
If you want to make the most logical decision, just make the same decision the Asian kid does.
You don't have to go to a Subway to take a poop. You're in your own house. It's downloading. Drink a beer and watch a movie.
You don't have to people.
No, the biggest downside, we're all at a disadvantage because he doesn't have to put his phone in rice.
You don't have to. You don't have to.
He can do it himself. That's not fair.
Yep.
You don't have to deal with all the people that only leave their mom's basements for midnight releases.
Yep. I'll probably be drinking, like, when it releases.
Yeah.
No, I do agree with him for the Diablo.
You got to remember, you buy it and you get home. Kyle's going to have to deal with the download. Those of us that get the physical copy are going to have to deal with, like, the 3-hour install. So it's not like it's much of a difference.
He is smart for that. Like for the Diablo expansion, the Ultimate Evil Edition, I think it's August 14th, but don't quote me on it.
Right.
You can actually download it like at midnight for both PS4 and Xbox One.
Nice. I'm debating that. I think that'll be cool. If I had, an Xbox One, I probably wouldn't bother. Not for the system's fault, but because the only reason I would bother with it for the PS4 is because of the PS4 exclusive DLC.
Right.
That's the sole reason I haven't played in like the last 6 months online is because like the feel with the controller, it's almost like the original Diablo 3 was like a beta, even though it wasn't. It just feels so amazing.
The original Diablo 3 was definitely like a beta.
Like when you play it, when you play the Diablo 3 on like a 360 or a PS3, like when you play it with a friend on couch co-op, you can literally sit there and just like bicker back and forth and be like, no, F you, that's my drop, you piece of crap. And go back and forth and just have a grand time for hours. Yeah. And it doesn't feel like it at all. It's actually amazing. Like the synergy with that controller and the flow of the movement and the couch co-op is fantastic.
I always felt like Diablo was more like a console game when it developed, because there's a lot of clicking, a lot of carpal tunnel, and once you have a controller, and now they have only limited attacks. Like,
I think my only concern with the console version is it's consistently going to sit like 6 months behind in patches. They've already announced that patch 2.0 or 2.1 will not launch with the console version, and by mid-August we're probably going to have 2.1 on PC. So that's going to be like, if you're only a console gamer, it doesn't matter. But if you play it on PC and console, it's just going to feel like a real setback when you're playing it on console.
I'll tell you right now, it's worth it. Yeah. It's actually over it. I do not think the PC is superior race for Diablo 3. Just because I had Diablo 1 on the PS1, it takes a whole goddamn memory card. But when you do two-player, even with Diablo 1 on the PS1, it just felt so much better. Even if you didn't have the mods for the Staff of Apocalypse, whatever else you had for a cheating piece of shit. It just felt so amazing. It's like playing Champions of Norath, or like one of the Baldur's Gate games, or one of the Champions of Norath games. The couch co-op, like the Snowblind, is infamous for couch co-op, and they've done Champions of Norath and stuff like that.
Right.
It's so amazing for that genre.
I'll probably be more into like that dungeon crawler couch co-op, like when my kids get a little bit older. Because like right now, I'll sit down and play Mario Kart with my daughter, but she's only 3. She ain't gonna play Diablo. I'll wait till she's 5.
If you have a new Xbox, I guarantee me and you would play that shit like every night.
Except for the fact that you live 2.5 hours away.
It doesn't matter. We could still play online together. Every fucking night.
We can play online together on PC.
Yeah, but I'm only getting it for the Xbox.
It defeats the purpose of the couch co-op.
I have a PlayStation 4. We can all play.
Yeah, get a real next gen console, and we can all play.
I'm not discussing my Sony issues on air because
I know.
Why not? Bring it up.
Because his Sony issues are that he's an Xbox fanboy, but Sony can't help but make a better console every generation.
No, I'm not a fanboy. It's my previous tech support issues, but I do not want to discuss it. Okay. I don't want Sony coming up all of a sudden.
Yeah, Sony,
some representative.
So hey, they might pay us. They might sponsor us if we shut up and don't talk about their horrible customer service.
Like, if they just send me the white console for Destiny, be like, hey.
Why would you want that ugly piece of shit?
I would be like, I don't care. It's a free PS4. If they were just like, hey, shut up, give us good reviews, I'd be like, hey, what's up? We're cool.
Just spray paint it black. Anyway. Damn. Man, episode 9. Kory, can you believe that we are, almost 2.5 months into this?
It hasn't felt like it's been that long.
I know. At least the shows sound significantly better than they do the first month. That was horrible. But and on top of that, it's August 1st, which means we are like 3 months away from BlizzCon.
Hell yeah.
Super fucking pumped about that. But anyway, that being said, let's get the ball rolling on episode 9. We'll get into our What's Up segment. I swear we're going to rename this piece of shit soon.
Quit saying that every week. It doesn't happen.
I know. Well, that's going to be like the new name of it. The needed to be renamed What's Up segment. Like, that's the new name.
Sure.
Anyway, this week's segment is brought to you by, as it always is, the Geek Access Podcast t-shirt. You can buy one today at bit.ly/IG store. Kory, we might as well start with you. What's your week's agenda?
Well, I picked up Last of Us Remastered, and I just can't put it down. I'm playing it on the bounded mode, which is the hardest, and it takes away your whole UI, and it just makes the game so much more intense. I love it. It's great. I enjoy the hell out of it.
Very cool. Now, you were telling me you've beaten it on PS3, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah. Oh, and you can't use that whole, what is that, the vision mode where you can, see... Yeah, they take that off on the bounded.
Oh, on the bounded one?
Yeah, so you're just bare minimums.
Now, I assume, because, I picked it up as well, but I never played it on PS3 because I didn't have a PS3 at the time, so...
It was so great.
But as I was telling you, I'm still very early into it. I think
How far in?
We just visually saw the Capitol building, where you get up to the roof.
He's in the outskirts. He's like,
yeah.
I just passed you up, dude. Come on.
Yeah, I know. Well, I haven't played it a super lot. I played it a little bit. I was blown away by it, especially visually. I can't tell you how many times I use photo mode and take screenshots.
60 frames. Have you ever tried switching it back to the 30 frames and seeing the difference?
I haven't, but I saw that you can. That was an option they put in just so they can brag and go, look how much better we made it.
Yeah, it's a trip how much crazy the blur and everything is.
But I'm really enjoying it so far. But anyway, my point being is that I have found that I actually don't use that listening feature that often. I assume that you probably do later on in the game as it gets more difficult.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you do.
Yeah. And I assume just kind of shivving every clicker probably gets tactfully... Yeah, okay.
Seriously.
But I'm doing my best to be stealthy, and I am liking it. My one concern with it, and I did mention this to you on the phone, and Kyle, you can chime in too, because I know you've played it and beat it as well. I feel as though the gameplay seems very basic. It's a very basic survival horror game. It's simply how amazingly they tell the story and how beautiful the game looks that really makes it stand out.
Yeah, it is a solid game, period. Everything is well-rounded, all the weapons. You haven't gotten to the upper end stuff, but you understand the basics of the game right from the get-go.
Right.
You get new
Controls
weapons as it goes on, and new enemies emerge, but no, you're right. What you have within the first hour is what you're going to see through the rest of the game, but they just do it so well. It executes throughout the game very well.
Right.
So that's why it's so great, because it's not unpredictable. The system's fair when it's introduced to you.
Right.
And upgrades throughout the game make it change up a little bit, but it's in good ways.
Right. So, yeah. Go ahead.
I said there is progression to the game, and you haven't gotten to that part yet, but, the story is so well done. The narrative's fantastic. It's a linear story, but who cares? It's done in such a great way that it doesn't matter.
Right.
And all the characters are well done, and all the acting was done with mocap. So even some of the in-game scenes, the way that they act. So all those side conversations are actually acted out by the actors. So
right. Yep. Now, how do you guys feel about the fact that there's a movie coming out? I assume the movie's probably going to be 1-for-1 for the game, right?
I don't know. I hate that they could just keep trying to make movies out of games. Just let the games be games, please.
Right. Well, this essentially was an some of the comments on this game are, it's the greatest movie I've ever played.
Exactly, but it should stay that way.
Right.
Well, did you hear about the last night, was it the Last of Us One Night Live thing?
No.
They acted it out on stage with all the deleted scenes and the alternate ending.
Where did they do that?
I haven't even... it's on PlayStation, YouTube, and I haven't worked up the guff to watch it because it makes me cringe. I don't know why.
Yeah.
So, exactly. I probably will because it's supposed to be. It actually is supposed to be pretty good, but I just,
right.
I can't blend those two mediums together yet. And I know in a movie form it'll probably be good, but
As long as it's done right.
Well, and the guy who wrote the script for the game is the guy who's writing the screenplay. Like, it's,
Okay.
Oh, hell.
if he screws it up, it's his own damn fault.
Right.
Yeah.
That's very true. It's very true. So now the DLC, I did notice that the PS4 version comes with the DLC.
Haven't played that yet. That looks pretty cool.
Did you never play it on PS3?
No, I didn't get the chance to. No.
Okay, well then,
Neither did
because I heard about it in a podcast, and I was going to bring up one of the controversial things about it, but I won't spoil it.
Wasn't it something with like gay love?
It was something between Ellie and a friend of hers.
Yeah, no, I've seen the pictures and stuff. I
And it
remember
just-
that when it came out.
Yeah, it's not a big deal. It's actually what's more interesting is that upon introspection, one of the characters in the middle of the game is like hardcore gay, and you don't realize it until you like take a better look around, and that's more funny.
Well, here's my thing, because I don't have any problem with them displaying homosexuality, whether it's male or female. My question with it is the girl's 14 years old. Did they need to publicly sexualize her? Like, we all know 14-year-olds have sex, but was that necessary to do in a game setting?
At her mindset, think about that. Like, because where they're at and how old they have to be maturely at that age.
That's very true. That's
and the
very
world's
true.
different, and they don't. And it seems like at the beginning they don't emphasize a lot. It's more at the end. Like, it's more about a relationship, and that's what Last of Us is. It is, one of the people who wrote the game said that it's more about the remnants of humanity than it is about the zombie outbreak. So that
Right.
because
Stop calling them zombies.
yeah,
They are not zombies.
well, yeah, they're not, but they kind of are.
I had a big argument on a Facebook.
Whatever.
Well, a zombie is defined as the walking undead, so they are animated corpses. What you fight in The Last of Us, they're never actually dead. They're just infected people. That's why you can choke them out and kill them. You can't choke out a zombie and kill it.
Yeah,
That's true.
but these things are infinitely more scary because they're based off something in real life that is terrifying.
Right, I know. What was that again? Bring that up for.
Oh, the zombie ants? The things that...
Yeah, the brain spore.
They've slowly been mutating and jumping to more species from ants. Like, they go to crickets, they've gone to butterflies and spiders.
The Ophiocordyceps unilateralis. Have you heard of this, Rick, at all? Because this shit is terrifying. Like,
It is. Look at the
What?
videos.
Okay,
For
so
the Last of Us?
what if I told you, like, just calm down. What if I told you that there is a fungus that can infect living organisms, and it eats through your soft tissue and into your brain, and then it drives you crazy, and it tries to get you to spread this spore to other things. And when you die, within like 2 to 4 days, it shoots out of your brain and shoots the spores airborne. What would you say to that? It infects people or other beings through the air.
It sounds like a super version of 28 Days Later or 28 Weeks Later with brain explosions.
Yeah, except for this thing is real and it's been around for a while. Like it's Ophiocordyceps unilateralis, and it can infect up to 120 different insect species. And ants are the only ones that have a defense by throwing the infected ant off a cliff.
So I'll read this article verbatim really quick, just so you guys have an idea. It says the mutated bodies come from an invasive fungi, and I'm not gonna say it again because I'll pronounce it wrong, but the one that Kyle mentioned. Scientific American wrote a great piece about the plausible zombies of The Last of Us by delving into how this very real fungus kills and transforms its hosts. They write, out of the 400 species in the genus, all of the parasites make their homes inside the bodies of others, mostly in insects, but some even other fungi. Not all of these parasites are evil zombie makers, you might think, but a few species of cordyceps, they have medicinal value. So I think this is what we were talking about in the pre-show, Kyle. It's like, no, keep it away from medicine.
It's dangerous. I don't care. I don't care how great it could be.
But if you look at if you just Google the cordyceps you bring up some really creepy photos of like bugs with fungi growing off of them, and it's pretty ridiculous. So it's kind of cool how they tuned it into that plausibly realistic scenario.
Yeah, because if that thing did infect humans, I would freak out. I'm sure everyone would freak out because it's an airborne parasite that
right,
just reproduces itself. It kills, and it's in its life cycle in 10 days. Yeah, the process takes 4 to 10 days, and it's bursting out of your brain.
Right. So. I will say, before we get too hung up on Last of Us, the little bit of decision I've had to make in the game, I've really enjoyed that. I've enjoyed the emotional turmoil that the game puts you through. Having a little girl myself, the opening sequence almost made me cry. I mean, it was really heart-wrenching. And then
that was the plan.
When you first escape through and you go into your first area where there's spores and the guy is trapped under the bookcase and you essentially just have to put a bullet in the head. But it doesn't force you to do it. It doesn't do it through a cinematic. Like, you have to pull your gun out and pull the trigger. Which, again, in many other video games, it's just a video game. Who cares? But this game does such an amazing job at making this world feel very real, and it attaches like an emotional bond even to that nameless guy who's crying for help under a bookcase.
Well, yeah,
right.
Yeah, like, and tying back to another game that we're going to be talking about, like Dark Souls did that very well, or even Demon Souls, where decisions are made not like with a big pop-up, or so you don't even know that you can make decisions about this game at all up until later, and you realize, oh my god, why is everyone dead?
Right.
What did I do?
I did something wrong. And there's story and everything is laden in, and it's more about player initiative, I think.
Right.
You care about it more when you're doing it. Because Last of Us is a good story. It's a decent story. It's not even a fantastic story, but it's just so well done.
Right.
And you play through it and you care about it more.
Right.
It is about, it's been out for so long. It's about, a guy, who's, and a guy and a girl developing a father-daughter relationship, and how horrifying it is in like the zombie apocalypse.
Right. I was going to say, I assume, and don't spoil too much, because I never played the original, but I assume that's essentially what ends up happening, is he ends up filling the void of Sarah with Ellie.
Yeah, but there's a lot more to it. Like,
right.
Not a lot.
A lot.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
Now, like, as far as the elements, and again, don't answer specifically because, in case there's people listening that haven't played or like myself, the big story element, and you might be able to guess what it is because of how early I am in the game, but the one I just found out about Ellie, where it hasn't been 2 days, it's been 3 weeks.
Yeah.
I assume that's a major player down the road.
That's a plot driver, but it isn't how the story, that's like the overarching plot of the game is, yes, that's why Ellie's important. But actually how the story structure is broken down into story arcs.
Okay.
With them broken down into seasons, like spring. You're only in the prologue, so you haven't even actually got
I'm still in the prologue?
Yeah, there's fall, winter, spring, and each section has its own storyline of what's going on.
Right.
Yeah.
So, that's the overarching theme of putting these people together, but each arc has its own, like, antagonist,
right,
like, development to do what you're doing, and each one gives you, like, lead of why you're going to keep going, because the game takes place over, like, 2-3 years.
Oh, okay.
How do you get from Boston to, like, the other end of America?
Right. Okay. Yeah. Well, that's very cool. Yeah, I'm really pumped to play it more, and I certainly know that I will be. But anyway, let's keep that going. We've hung up on Last of Us quite a bit. You did bring up Dark Souls. So, Kory, I know before we move on from you did pick up the DLC. How are you liking that?
I just started getting into it, and so far I like it a lot. I like the whole level, like everything's very vertical in this one. Yeah. There's a lot of switches, and you want to hit every single one, and if you don't, you'll miss something. And it's a lot of fun to just explore the world.
Cool.
Yeah, it's a much harder game. Rick, did you pick it up?
No, not Last of Us, no.
No, Dark Souls 2.
Dark Souls 2, DLC.
Yes, I have Dark Souls 2 plus the DLC with Crown of the Sunken King.
Yeah. Have you beaten it yet? Because I got through it, and it was a headache. So.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. The level layout is really smart, and I'm glad that they brought it back, where you can circle what they're going to do with Bloodborne, where the level circles around on itself, and it's very vertical instead of like sideways. So you can be in one area, then drop off and be in like an area that you
A
thought
completely
would take
different
forever.
area. Yeah.
So, and the game's harder, or no, the enemies are harder. Let's just say, and so are the bosses. Like that was one of the issues. Was it wasn't just hard from the get go. These things will destroy you, like even the NPCs. So it's really good.
Right.
I mean,
I'm sure I'll end up getting around. Like I still don't have Dark Souls 2. I'm sure I'll end up getting around to getting it at some point. I still gotta just kind of get the feel for the game, and again, a lot of that's time.
Yeah,
I know that Dark Souls, especially the original one, it requires just some time commitment to get used to the game and to develop boss strategies and even just scenario strategies. And it's just something where I just don't have the time to commit to that right now.
Yeah, it's like basically it's 1-on-1. It's 1v1, but it's like raiding. The successive raiding in World of Warcraft,
right?
You can by yourself, and that's why it's so hard. It's just like you throw yourself against the wall. Like
you don't have other people to fall back on.
Yeah, it's just you. So
right.
Which is great, when you make a success, but at the same time, like you get destroyed so many times.
Right.
Like I know one of the first bosses in the DLC was a summoning boss, and she can summon bosses that you fought before.
Right.
And it's like, oh my! I didn't realize that until like I was on like probably the 12th time fighting her, and then something ridiculous happened. I'm like, what the hell?
Right.
For like half an hour because there's like I can't do this. It's not
Who'd she summon?
You find that out for yourself.
I thought I would like change it every time.
No, I don't know yet.
People?
I think in New Game Pluses it changes, but in where I was, there was like 2 to 3 different like things she could summon. So
cool.
And it's only the first time I fought her. So
I'm guessing one's going to be a ruined sentinel. One of those.
Yeah, you'll find out, and it freaks you out at first because you're like, oh, these ads are easy, and then it's just like, what the hell is that?
Very cool.
I'm excited for it.
Yeah, and the dragon boss, obviously, because it's hard. It's really hard. So
dragon bosses are fun though.
Yeah, lots of
fire. Yeah, fire everywhere.
All right, well, Rick, let's move the microphone over to you, bud. What have you been up to?
Watching anime, trying out games on Steam. That's pretty much it. Like Crypt of the Necrodancer, some JRPGs, watching some anime.
Very cool.
That's pretty much it.
Now, how one of the anime shows you mentioned was what was it? Sword Art Online 2. Now, how does that compare to the first one?
It's decent. It's based on a game called Gungrave with a guy named Death Gun, and he can kill players just by shooting them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've been doing that. I watched Dead Man Wonderland, which is actually pretty good. If you like gory anime, it's good.
Nice, I do.
Tokyo Ghoul, I've been keeping up on that. Episode 4 just came out on Hulu. And on Steam, I'm just watching. I'm playing indie games. I'm waiting for Destiny and Evolve and Dragon Age Inquisition.
Yeah.
Right.
Nice.
I mean, we're in the summer lull right now, which everyone's, kind of dealing with at the moment. So,
Definitely.
August has nothing coming out, right?
August has Diablo 3 for the next gen.
Yeah, Diablo 3 next gen. The potential release of 2.1 for PC, which we still haven't really
but
done
that's
anything
not like
with it.
Blockbuster.
Yeah. No, I really don't. No, yeah. I mean, we got Destiny in September. I think that's the next big one.
Oh yeah, that's quarter 3. So I mean, we're at the tail end of quarter 2. So
right,
that's jack unless they want something good. So
yeah, I don't see. Let me see here. I don't really think there is much of anything. Let me get to August really quick here. Yeah, no. Sacred 3, nobody cares. Risen 3, nobody cares. Well, I mean, depending on what your taste is, the new Madden comes out in August.
Nice. Woo!
Yeah, and then the infamous DLC is coming out. Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare is coming out for PS4.
Ooh, I actually am curious about that. That looks kind of fun.
I hear it's fun.
It's actually a lot of fun.
It's like Call of Duty with Plants vs. Zombies.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's fun.
It's like it's kiddie Call of Duty, but supposedly done better than Call of Duty.
Right. Well, most things are done better than Call of Duty.
Coming from a Call of Duty lover, that's awesome.
Well, actually, I hated Ghosts, but I will say that Advanced Warfare looks amazing. So excited for Kevin Spacey being in it.
Who cares?
I care
Oh my god! It's just Kevin Spacey,
right? But have you watched House of Cards yet?
No, because I don't care.
It's so amazing.
Yeah, but it's putting an A-list actor in I don't know. It's not
a first-person shooter. Who gives a fuck? You're killing people left
right,
and right.
But the point being is that the story, for the first time in the last 3 or 4 years, may not be retarded for Call of Duty.
I mean, the only
because
time
of an actor
was Modern Warfare and before, and then every other time it's been awful.
See, I actually thought the Black Ops storyline was better than the Modern Warfare one.
It was. I thought it was.
Yeah, I loved the huge twist at the ending.
Yeah.
So,
they made it interesting, that's for sure.
They did. And supposedly Treyarch is working on Black Ops 3 for next year, so that'll be cool.
Oh my god. Give them a break.
But anyway.
I just don't feel the need.
It's not every year. That's how
it's going to be a seasonal release. But now they're on a 3-year cycle at least, because Sledgehammer is working on its own game. So it's going to be 3 years for every title.
Thank God.
Which means we'll only have to deal with a shitty Infinity Ward title every 3 years.
Yep.
Because Infinity Ward hasn't been the same since the guys that made it what it was broke off.
Oh yeah.
But no, September, August definitely pales in comparison to September, because you got Sims 4 September 2nd, you got Gauntlet September 3rd, Destiny and NHL 15 on the 9th, a new Naruto game, which is old gen only, and PC, September 16th. Disney Infinity 2.0 featuring Marvel superheroes comes out September 23rd.
I forgot about that.
Sweet!
Yeah.
I know. Hyrule Warriors is coming out September 26th.
Oh my god.
Forza,
I don't even know what to expect out of that.
Forza Horizon 2 is coming out September 30th, and the new Middle Earth game is also coming out September 30th.
Shadow of Mordor.
Yeah, which looks amazing.
You know
That does look good.
For this quarter, announced $95.7 million loss still.
Yeah.
So still in the red. It's really bad.
Yeah.
And I love Zelda games, but I don't know how I feel about Hyrule Warriors.
Right.
Oh, seriously, can we talk about that for a second? Dynasty Warriors and Zelda. Why the fuck are they trying that? I don't feel like Dynasty Warriors has kind of been a dying off breed for a long time.
Well,
ever since Dynasty Warriors 4, I was kind of over it.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, it might work because, we'll see. Because Dynasty Warriors has always, whether you're sick of the gameplay or not, that's a personal thing. But the combat has always been fun, and if at the very least it's always been fun for an hour or so.
It's a hack and slash. That's all it is.
But the story, unless you're into a lot of that old ancient warfare, the story, at least to me, has always been kind of dumb. I don't care about any of that lore at all.
Well,
exactly, but Zelda's heavy lore.
Right, so we're taking that fun, fast-paced with the and putting it in Hyrule, which could be cool if it's done right.
Well, the problem that I see is that Zelda, people that like Zelda just want another Zelda game. They don't want,
Right.
I like the freaking crossbow game that they made for the freaking Wii. It had the little attachment and shit. It was badass.
Right.
Yeah, that's an add-on game, not a whole game. People would rather have their assets moved towards just put on a Zelda. We'll buy that, not Hyrule Warriors. I love Zelda.
I just want to see HT Majora's Mask. That's all I want, dude. I'll be happy.
Has that been confirmed yet, or is it still rumored?
No, it's still just wherever it is, it'll happen.
Well, there was a tease about a 3D version coming out on the 3DS, which is the only reason I haven't gotten rid of my 3DS yet.
Yeah, that's where it's going to go. It's going to go to 3DS, not to the Wii U.
Yeah, it won't be on the Wii U. It'll be a 3DS title.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
I'm going to have to buy another fucking 3DS. I don't want to do that shit.
Yeah.
Nope.
Rick, you're awfully quiet this week.
I know. What's the deal?
No, I was just listening. And I was like, yeah, I like the 3DS, but I'm not buying it just for fucking Pokemon and Monster Hunter.
Yeah.
Monster Hunter. I like Pokemon.
Okay.
I'm not spending $200 for that shit.
Okay. Ocarina of Time 3D, well worth it. Legend of Zelda Link Between Worlds, definitely worth it. Pokemon X and Y were okay. I mean, it was the same damn game it's always been, but in 3D. So I guess that's kind of cool.
I don't want to spend $20 for Brock to tell me that his Pokemon are rock hard. It's cool, bro. Your Pokemon have a chubby. That's great. That's fantastic.
Oh my god.
The 3DS is what's keeping Nintendo alive anyway.
Okay, so who else noticed that Rick barely talked, I get him talking, and 30 seconds into the conversation he's talking about hard-ons?
Yes.
I'm just saying, Brock was like, hey, I'm the gym leader. Check out my fucking Pokemon's boners. Go ahead, check it out. Look at that.
You
Want
can't
a duel?
use
Let's
Pikachu
duel.
against you.
Although I will say, the most encouragement I've gotten from any person is the people right before the gym leader. You can do it, bro. You're a champion. Those guys are like all about you fucking murdering their leader.
Oh yeah. Because they're tired of his ass because he's up there telling them about how hard his Pokemon are.
Yeah,
They
he's
don't
like,
want to
hey,
hear it. They're just sick of it.
every day he's talking about his Pokemon's fucking chubbies and stuff. And
It's like,
they're
look
like,
how
"Yo,
big my
come on."
Onix is. He's the biggest Onix ever.
I'm sick and tired of hearing about Brock's Onyx's cock. So just beat the shit out of him. All right.
My
Those are my sprinklers, man.
my Pokemon is bigger than yours.
Oh god. There is some sick bestiality in that universe, I'm sure. I'm just gonna keep away from it. Just
Well, we all know that Pokemon translates to pocket monster, so he's got a hard pocket monster.
Yeah, he does.
just stay away from that. No.
Anyway, all right. Well, let's turn the last of the mic to Kyle. Kyle, I know we already talked about Last of Us, but you had a couple other games you played this week, right?
Yeah, I was playing a couple free-to-play games. Heroes and Generals is fun. That's like a free shooter.
Cool.
It's pretty well balanced. It's still in like the beta stage, but you can play like Company of Heroes basically on the ground. So there's like tanks and stuff that you can have.
Cool.
And I played Unturned, which was like a Minecraft mixed with a zombie survival, more zombie survival
Isn't
game.
that free to play?
Yeah, it's a free to play. It's fun. It's not that. It's.
I think I saw that on the storefront page.
Yeah, it's entertaining.
Right.
It burned a day, a couple hours. That's about it.
Right.
And a bunch of games here and there. So obviously all the DLC and crap for all the other games. And you probably already talked about The Walking Dead season 4, right? Or no,
We finished that up.
You mean
Yeah. So
Yeah, it was talked about briefly last week.
yeah. So there's just a bunch of free to plays to burn through the days. So, but now we got Last of Us, so I'll be playing that.
Right. Oh, I just saw something really cool.
What's
That makes
that?
me happy. Hold on, let me just confirm this. Yeah. Kind of on a side note, as I was browsing Steam, this might be old news, I don't know, but wow. PC players of Assassin's Creed are not going to have to wait like an extra month for it to come out this time around. It's being launched all across the board, including PC.
Oh, really?
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, because I always do all my Assassin's Creeds on PC.
Really? I still can't get into that universe. I bought one, I kind of played it.
I got tired of that too.
Yeah.
I'm like, see, 1 and 2 were fun. I didn't really care much for Brotherhood or Revelations. I mean, the stories were cool, but for them, it felt like they were trying to make it like Assassin's Creed Grand Theft Auto. Like, it was just open world with a bunch of extra minutia to collect and things to do. But 3, I mean, so many people trash on 3, but I actually thought the Native American story was kind of cool. I did think that Connor was significantly cooler before his whole transition instead of afterwards. And it would have been cool if you could scalp a guy, but they took that out. And 4 I enjoyed. I wish they focused more on the ship battles. There was a lot there focused on them, but this, again, the story was actually kind of fun. My biggest grief with it, and it's the same reason that I'm sick of the Batman games, is because the combat is identical in every single one.
Yep.
It's just block, counter, attack, block, counter, attack. That's all it is.
Yep.
From what I understand, they are changing that up in Unity.
We'll see.
In what way, though?
There's been little detail released, but from what I understand, it's not going to be as uniform as just counterattack. Like
And their multiplayer is going to be very
it's going to be a lot more fluid. Yeah, and the 4-player co-op should be pretty cool. And thankfully, I don't have to deal with anybody being a girl because Ubisoft knows what they're doing.
No women in games. What's the point?
I mean, that's the problem with Assassin's Creed was like I didn't like the combat system. I really didn't.
Right.
So, I mean, with like Last of Us,
it gets boring.
Exactly. Like there are things in Last of Us where like, have you executed anybody yet? And like Ellie's like, oh shit. Like it's how horrifying it reveals it to be, or how brutal it is. They don't cover it up.
Right.
So like when you beat a man with a plank of 2x4, you might think that's not a good weapon. In real life, it's a very good weapon.
Right.
Oh no! Just like running up on somebody, throwing a brick in his face, and then just smashing him against the wall. Just like,
right.
Sorry,
like, stuff that would work in real life. Terrifying. It's like, oh, I have a brick. What can I do with this? Wait, I have a brick. Like, just run up and just
the first time, and we won't turn this back into more Last of Us, but the first time that when I aimed the brick at the guy's head and it shattered off of his head, he was like, "What the fuck?" Pretty entertaining shit there. And
mess you up.
This dick just threw a brick at me. What the fuck is that?
And you know what I like about it, and this is the last thing I'll really bring up, but in the whole pick something up off the ground and throw it to make them face the other way so you can continue to be stealthy. This obviously isn't the first game to incorporate that. What I like about it compared to the other games that do it is your AI isn't retarded. They're not like, oh, a brick just exploded over there. Oh, I guess that's all it was. They're like, wow, who the fuck threw that?
Yeah.
Like,
it must be raining bricks.
Yeah.
That's
like
cool.
in so many other games, it's like you throw a rock off the wall and it's like, oh. Actually, no, in Far Cry is my most recent memory of that. You're always throwing rocks and it's like, oh, what was that? Oh, I guess it was nothing. It's just like, no, rocks are just randomly being pelted all across the island.
I'm sad that they deleted and they lost intellectual property to the original Fear AI from like the Fear 1.
Right.
Which was the super smart AI, which would flush you out with grenades and, oh, there's a light. Everyone get in cover. And then they just wait for you as you like come through.
Right.
And,
I mean, I like it. They see your flashlight and they notice it and they react.
And they work as a squad. Like in Fear 1, I remember if you played on the hardest difficulty, they'll send the heavier units in first, and then the squad will come back them up.
Oh, I loved Fear 1. I was so disappointed when they dropped the ball. 2 wasn't horrible, but 3 was just horrendous.
Yeah, they both. Yeah. And in both the times, it would just change to a general shooter, not like a tactical shooter.
Right.
Where you
let's add Max. Oh.
Yeah, it's like, let's switch up. The reason why
Wait, hold on. Didn't they do the same thing with Call of Duty? Oh, people are getting bored. Let's just put mechs in it, and maybe they'll think it's cool.
Yeah.
Biosuits. Crisis did that. Let's try that.
Yeah, let's see.
That's basically what happens in a boardroom. The higher ups like, let's do this. Like, you're the boss, I guess. It's gonna suck.
Yeah, you're retarded, but you sign our paycheck, so we'll do it.
Yeah.
Oh shit. All right. Well, let's break away into a news segment. We'll cover some of the stories here. We've been talking quite a lot, which is I'm not complaining about it at all. It's been a very enjoyable conversation. But let's bring up some of this news. Which our segment for the news is brought to you by Patreon. You can join others in helping support the Geek Access podcast, and you can get some cool show memorabilia while you're at it. One of the things that we do feature with that, and you can gain access to it with a simple $2 an episode, you always hear us referring to our pre-show and post-show discussions. Those are always being recorded, and you can gain access to that. It's fairly entertaining, and we're not quite as organized as we are on the show, but they're fun to listen to, and there's some cool things there. And you can gain access to those recordings for $2 an episode, which helps support the show and helps us bring this to you every week. But if you're interested in doing that, and you want to check out some of the other rewards that we have, you can go to bit.ly/support Geek Access, and we thank you for your support. Kyle, why don't you bring us into our first news story? Let us know what NASA is all about.
Well, yes, a recent story that broke that a lot of people reported on is the Impossible engine, the perpetual engine that was designed several years ago and only now put in, like the U.S. actually built one and tested it. It is called the RF engine, or it's an engine that uses, let's hear how crazy this sounds, but it uses quantum vacuum virtual plasma for perpetual energy production for propulsion. So this shit's crazy. Yeah.
What is it? What is that planet doing? Like, what happens?
Okay, so it harvests. From my basic knowledge and what I read, it harvests photons from the sun, and it turns it into like a space thruster. So infinite energy using microwave technology, and NASA and all these scientists wrote it off for years because they thought the guy was a crackpot and said there's no way that things would be real because the guy was working with quantum mechanics, which is basically saying that the special ed kid from like the short bus is completely correct about everything in the universe, and he's not an idiot, he's a savant. That's what
he is the new god.
Yeah.
Or with that perpetual energy, we're gonna add mechs to shit.
See what
podcast is now brought to you also by fucking mechs.
What they didn't tell you was this is actually the new DLC in Titanfall.
Yeah, seriously.
I mean,
Dark Souls 3, all fucking mechs, all of it.
So, this shit is absolutely crazy. And that will allow for deep space. I mean, yeah, they can only get a very little thrust out of it, but the fact of the matter is, when you can have an engine with infinite fuel, which is ridiculous.
Well, let's talk about it because you say infinite, which if it stays within area of the sun, it's infinite. But deep space,
as long as any radiant light, so you have to go very, very, very far away from the sun.
Right. I'm just wondering how close, and obviously we're talking light years, at the very least hundreds of millions, if not billions of miles, but how far away? I mean, and chances are that by the time you get far enough from this sun to where you're not gaining energy from it anymore, you're probably going to find something else.
Yeah. Or you came up with a secondary system because you're stupid.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
All I'm hearing is infinite mechs, and no matter where Waldo hides in the universe, we can find that fucker now. He can not.
Well, I mean, that's my favorite. Was it? I forgot who I was talking to, but a proponent, one of the proponents of mining in space was all we need to do is get to the asteroid belt, and then we do get real infinite resources.
Right. Now, here's what I'm wondering. Let's take a smaller version of this. Let's go another 100 years in the future. You take a smaller version of this, which draws its energy from the sun, and it turns it into, or it draws the photons from the sun and turns it into energy. I mean, that's the layman's concept of this, right?
Yeah.
Solar-powered mechs.
Yeah, so... No, but solar-powered plasma rifles.
With mechs.
Yeah, with mechs. On mechs. They have to be on the solar-powered mechs.
We're like a human. We're like StarCraft Dragoons. When we die, fuck it. We're putting in robots.
But so you have this this technology that uses, it's essentially solar-powered to the layman. So you have a solar-powered plasma rifle.
Okay, I'll read the first part.
Okay.
It uses microwaves from the energy produced from the sun in a quantum cavity, which I don't even know what the hell that would be. An anal orifice of some kind, and it bounces around and it makes plasma of some sort. Quantum plasma, so I don't even know if it really exists or not. But yeah, so it uses resonant waveguide assembly. I don't even know what the hell that means, but I know it's ridiculous.
All I'm getting is mechs with solar-powered plasma rifles and microwaves to reheat my potatoes. That's what I'm getting.
Pretty much. I mean,
pill form food.
You gotta remember that NASA laughed at these guys for over a decade, and then they realized that it worked, and now everyone's wait a second.
Good news. It's a
way to go, NASA.
Yeah. Well, it's called the M drive, and I mean, it only gets a very small amount of thrust because it's the first stage, 30 to 50 micronewtons. But the fact that you have basically an engine that could propel in space, just keep going forever. With constant acceleration, you can go really fast. So
it gets 50 miles to the gallon?
Yes, that's exactly what it gets. 50 miles to the gallon.
That's it. Oh, no, it's just...
it could push to 80 miles to the gallon, right? You have to do that.
What? How?
Fucking mechs.
Mechs?
Mechs.
Oh, God.
80 miles to the gallon.
Well, they're still working on the power armor from DARPA, but they're getting close. So the Iron Man project.
Half-Life 3 mechs confirmed. That's all we're doing right now.
And my favorite still is they want to equip a frontman soldier with a power suit that can take shotgun and AK-47 rounds to the face, and he can just bear claw through walls. I'm like,
if you can take a 7.62 round to the face, you're a goddamn champion. You're a champion.
Yeah, I thought it was really funny, but we'll see what science does. It'll kill us all one day. It doesn't really matter.
Right.
Yeah.
So is this still? I assume this is still in testing. This isn't active use yet.
The news that broke was because the engine was officially tested and it worked. It produced 30 to 50 micro news. So that's why it's big news, because this is basically an impossible engine, like a perpetual motion engine that doesn't really need to run on anything and shouldn't work. But it's gonna work, and it's gonna probably be the base of a lot of space travel from now on.
Right.
This whole conversation sounds like we're promoting the game from Steam, The Impossible Machine.
The Impossible Engine.
Yeah. So, that's what's really cool is that, the applications for this are, untold, because...
They're impossible.
They're mech-finite. They are mech-finite.
They're mech-finite. So, but yeah, think about it. Space, where you have something in space and it just, I think they're trying to work on a design so they can work with satellites. That's their first one. So you can have, satellites up there indefinitely without need for refueling or bringing them down. So that'll be cool. More porn. So.
More porn?
That's what satellites use.
Gotta love it.
Yeah.
We have an infinite porn engine now.
Yeah, we have infinite...
The uploads are nameless.
Oh, shit. Damn it.
Yeah, that's my only story for today, so...
No, yeah. No, it's cool. I'm glad that we have something to report on that's actually, useful.
Yeah, no kidding.
Speaking of useful reports, Kory, what's up with these fuckers in Battlefield 4 being able to heal and give out ammo?
Apparently it's a super easy glitch and everybody can do it, but people can now stack, and there's no point in having classes. Like, you can have your rocket launcher and a med kit, or the respawn, what's that thing called? The TUG? No.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
The respawn thing for the sniper class, and your RPGs and C4.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
And an ammo pack.
Right.
It's just like fucking A. It's like there's no point in having a class system.
Right. What do we know what brings the glitch on?
I do, actually. I have it right here. Okay. All that's required for the glitch to work is to pick a class and select one gadget while leaving the other slot open. Then, for the next class, do the same but in reverse. When spawning, hit the R1 and L1 buttons. On the Xbox, hit the R buttons. And you will now spawn with a combined class.
Wow, that sucks.
And that's how easy it is.
And you're welcome to all of our listeners for telling you how to do it.
Enjoy Battlefield 4!
Yeah, assuming you can connect to a server.
Oh, seriously, it's so bad.
I wonder if they put the glitch in, because since very few people can connect, you can't really rely on other classes to be there.
I know, it's funny.
It's a self-applied glitch. So,
I haven't really played Battlefield 4 since it came out.
Yeah.
So.
Well, speaking of overplayed military shooters, I don't know if you guys heard, but Infinity Ward, known for now making the worst of the COD games,
yes.
They've picked up 2 former Naughty Dog developers. They picked up Taylor Kurosaki and Jacob Minkoff. So I assume they probably worked on The Last of Us. If not, I'm sure they probably worked on Uncharted. So it'll be interesting to kind of see what that does. After what Infinity Ward / Activision did to Vince and Zach, I am blown away that anybody was willing to work for them. Because they fucked them over really bad. But yeah,
plus there's Max.
Yeah, they brought us Max. But it'll be interesting to see if that does anything, or maybe they'll actually add some creativity. We're not going to see Infinity Ward's next Call of Duty for another 2 years. Sledgehammer's this year and Treyarch is next year. So we're talking like 2016. But we'll see if they work on COD at all and see if they... obviously there's very little that just 2 people can do, but we'll see if it...
Yeah, seriously.
We'll see if it adds anything. Yeah. And then you still have Activision's Iron Fist, and they're very unwilling to take any risks because they just want to make sure their game is going to sell. So, which from a business standpoint, I can understand that aspect of it. Mm-hmm. So,
buy me bastards.
Right, definitely. Kory, do we have I don't want to do too much longer as far as news, but do we have this month's, it's August now, so this month's PlayStation Plus games yet?
Oh, we do. For PlayStation 4, we got Road Not Taken and Fez, which are both kind of puzzle platformers, cool. And Crysis 3 for PS3. And
Nano suit.
We got, I know, right? More suits.
More suits.
Semi-mech.
Mechs and suits. It's close.
It's an organic mech. Right.
Vita, we got Proteus and Metrico, and they're both kind of free roam platformer kind of games.
Cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Other big news for the day. Guardians of the Galaxy came out today. Anybody going to see that this weekend? Maybe.
I hear it's good. I'll probably see it next week.
Yeah, so. It's got... I don't know as far... Now that it's been released, I'm not sure, but I know as far as the professional reviewers, which are usually who I listen to, not like the idiots that go see it, it was 100% approval on Rotten Tomatoes. So people love it. And
I saw it today at 4.
You saw it?
Yep.
Oh, how was it?
I loved it.
You did?
Yes.
Very cool.
I love Groot and the Assassin. I don't like Vin Diesel, that ball bastard. No offense to anyone that loves him.
Vin Diesel's in it?
Yeah, he's the voice. He's the voice for Groot, the tree. Basically
the
tree.
Okay. All right.
Oh, that's funny.
So. Who, what was his name? Fuck. Didn't the guy from The Hangover do the voice for Rocket Raccoon?
Bradley Cooper,
Yeah.
Yep.
How was he?
The assassin. The raccoon's the assassin, and he's amazing.
Is he?
Like his whole job for that whole movie is either to murder people or be comical.
Nice. Well, that's a pleasure. That's a pleasure. That's a pleasant combination. How was Dave Bautista's acting? Like, was he obviously like, this is a pro wrestler, he doesn't belong here, or did he actually do well?
He played the psychopath actually very well.
Did he? Well, he's kind of a psychopath, so.
Well, that was his role. You have the 2 brutes, you have the assassin, and then you have the psychopath and the leader.
Cool. Well, I'm glad to hear that it was entertaining, so that's good. Definitely. I mean, it's Marvel Disney, or Disney Marvel, however order they're doing it.
It's worth the $8 to go see, even if you're not a Marvel fan. It's actually worth it. It's a lot of fun. Right. It's 2 hours and 9 minutes, I believe.
Okay.
That's good.
Very cool.
I mean, I was going to go see it, but I'm glad that, it's overwhelmingly positive reviews. So
right. Well, I mean, ever since Disney took over Marvel, we haven't had anything but overwhelmingly positive reviews for any of their movies.
Yeah. Which is because Disney's one of the companies that owns everything in the world. And
right.
Yeah, and if they're not good, then something's wrong.
Right. Yeah, that's why I'm excited for the new Star Wars movie.
You like
still
this?
On the fence.
You enjoy this franchise? No, Disney owns that now. Mickey Mouse is on that now.
Kingdom Hearts 3 is going to be Star Wars.
See, that's what I'm hoping for. And there are some old school Kingdom Hearts fans that are like, no, don't do it. But, like, I really hope that we get to see some of the Marvel world and some of the Star Wars world in Kingdom Hearts 3. Now, Kingdom Hearts 3 has been in development for a while, and those are both 2 fairly new acquisitions. So it may not be in time, but I hope that, 10 years down the road when we get Kingdom Hearts 4.
They did good with Tim Burton's work. Like Kingdom Hearts 2, I was like, please don't fuck this up. The Nightmare Before Christmas world was actually amazing.
Was it?
Yeah.
It was really well done.
They do
and
all
the
that.
HD remaster, they changed it up and gave them all new costumes and stuff, and it was pretty cool.
I'm pretty bummed that those aren't coming out for PS4.
Well, whatever. I don't really care. I'm going to get fucking the new one, so it doesn't matter.
I don't have a PS3, so.
Kory doesn't give a shit. There's no mechs. He's not even buying that shit.
Exactly. No mechs.
Oh, shit. Well, aside from that, I just wanted to bring up a little bit. I don't know if any of you are a fan, but on Tuesday, Theory of a Dead Man's new album came out. Their last one, which came out, I had it right here. What was it, 2012? I don't know, it doesn't matter. 2011, 2012, was called The Truth Is... ... It was really good. It followed more down that path of their music, getting a little bit more rock sounding and a little bit heavier, as well as their lyrics getting more comical and like their serious topics sung about in a fun way. And this album, it's definitely, I mean, there's a Chris Brown reference in there,
Nice.
which is quite entertaining.
Who doesn't love Chris Brown?
There's a reference, I believe it's the second song or second track.
Is it about hitting Rihanna?
Well, it's about hitting a woman, and like the line is something along the lines of like I don't need to hit on a woman. I'm not Chris Brown. Something along those lines. It made me kind of chuckle. Alice Cooper comes in on a song.
Oh, that's cool.
And being a country fan, there's a song called "Living My Life as a Country Song," and it features one of the singers from Rascal Flatts. So I haven't gotten to it yet, so I'll see how it is. But
disclaimer: he's not actually flat. Just saying.
But I'm enjoying it. It's $8.99 on iTunes, and
it's free on Pirate Bay.
Sure is.
Hey, speaking of Pirate Bay, did you guys know? This is probably really old, but I just read about it, and I don't know how factual it is. But apparently, the guys that own Pirate Bay tried to buy their own private island because they were going to make it their own country, and that way they could eliminate piracy laws.
I was hoping they would name it Pirate Bay.
Well, they would call it
Pirate Bay now owns Pirate Bay.
They would call it
Max up the ass.
They would call it Pirate Island, of course.
Well, if it's an island, it has a bay, so it'll have a Pirate Bay.
It will
There will be fucking mechs in that bay. They will have them.
All right. Well, since I again, see, when I'm leading the discussion, I always forget to bring up what I did. Yeah, I'm not going to bother with it much because it was basically Last of Us, which we talked about. I'm like 2 episodes left on House of Cards, but Brandon's not here to talk about that with. One thing I do want to mention is me and our friend Fuzzy have been playing Wildstar. We're enjoying it. The reason I bring it up...
Where's my copy?
Oh, yeah, I forgot I got to grab that for you today.
Yeah, I want to check that game out.
The reason that I bring it up is because I'm playing on Bloodsworn and I'm playing Dominion. And I joined this new guild. It's called SVG. All it says in the guild profile is SVG. I don't know if it stands for anything, but it's SVG. I bumped into the GM, whose name is Sloot. I bumped into him on Facebook. It is a fun as shit guild, dude. So we'll definitely get you into it when we get to the games. It's Sloot, Slute. But I was in. Oh Christ! I mean, I must have joined the night that I played it. I must have joined. I joined the guild at like 11 o'clock that night, and I was in TeamSpeak with them until like 4 o'clock in the morning. Like, it was just great conversation, a lot of fun, a couple of really cool guys. I told them I'd give them a shout out, and if they're not listening live, obviously, but if they end up listening to the recording, they will see that I did as I promised, and I've named the episode. I've named this week's episode "Cut" or "Uncut," as I told them I would. But yeah, I just wanted to give them a shout out because it was a lot of fun and it brought a lot of life to the game for that 5 hours that I was there running with them. I plan on hopping back in after this episode. So, but I told them I'd give them a shout out, so I wanted to make sure I didn't forget that. And our last little segment of the week is This Week in Star Wars. It is brought to you by StarWars7News.com. Check them out for everything you need to know about the world of Star Wars. And you can find their site and all of their blogs at bit.ly/StarWars7Geek. That is the number 7, not the word 7. So we've got some cool news this week that's brought to us by Echo 7. I'll just kind of read off on it and we can kind of comment on it as we go because I don't want to. We're running a little long, but I don't want to go too overburdened on it. As people who followed San Diego Comic-Con last week, they knew that there was plenty of presence at Comic-Con. Star Wars Rebels debuted a trailer. There was an interview with Dave Filoni. And Kevin Smith gave a more in-depth view regarding his visit to the Episode 7 set that took place earlier in the month. You can find more detailed information there at StarWars7News.com, and they'll get more into what happened at Comic-Con. Ryan Johnson, this is probably some of the biggest news of this little segment this week. Ryan Johnson confirmed that he will be working on, or that he is working on Episode 8. Excuse me. He is writing and directing 8, and he's going to write the treatment for Episode 9. Previously, it was a rumor that was unconfirmed by Disney and Lucasfilm, but it has been confirmed. Monday also marked the start of a brief 3-day shoot on Skellig Michael. I hope I'm pronouncing that right, and that's off the coast of Ireland. J.J. Abrams and Mark Hamill were both spotted headed to the island. So something is going on there, Episode 7 related.
Oh, J.J. Abrams.
Obviously.
Oh, yeah.
Max.
Explosion.
No, that's Michael Bay.
Oh, right, you're right. Michael Bay.
Whatever.
And this is kind of funny. I like the spin-off, I like the play on words they did with this name. It's pretty funny. But the official Star Wars Facebook page announced that they're looking for fans to join the exclusive website Facebook feedback community. And they're calling it Obi Wants to Know Me. It's creative, I guess. But anyway, a select few, and this is cool for the fans of Star Wars. So if you are a listener of our show and you're a Star Wars fan, make sure you check this out, because a select number of fans are going to have the opportunity to work directly with Lucasfilm. And Lucasfilm's I can't fucking talk. We've been going too long tonight. Lucasfilm's employees. There we go. In developing the future Star Wars through valuable feedback done through blogs and comments and stuff like that. They've already said that if you can't keep secrets or abide by NDAs, don't bother applying. But, if you can keep secrets and you want to kind of help shape the future of Star Wars, I guess their logic is nobody can do any worse than George Lucas did, so we might as well give everybody a shot. Is that kind of what's going on there?
That's like a borderline porno name. Like, Obi wants to know these 14 Asian girls.
Fucking Rick.
I'm just saying, Obi wants to know me, I'm good. I've seen what happens.
See, no, the poor
Catholic priest, I've seen what happens with that. I'm good. Obi can know somebody else.
The porn parody of it is Obi Wants to Blow Me.
Right.
Or Indiana Jones.
Indiana Jones. I like that. That's a good one.
They're fucking him. You've seen that episode of South Park, right?
There's a boulder coming. I'm not off yet. Wait for it. Run, Deanna, run.
Dr. Jones.
Oh my God.
There's a little Aztec kid.
Hey, at least we're still sticking Lucasfilm related.
That's what I'm saying. I tell you what's in the Crystal Skull right now. It's not aliens for sure, but it's white.
I'll tell you what's not in the Crystal Skull. Anyway, aside from that, a little bit of SWTOR update. Fellow blogger Pomo Jama, I guess, wrote a really great article chronicling the potential future of SWTOR for those that feel like it still has one.
Oh dear God!
A potential. I don't know. Like I said last week, me and Fuzzy played it a little bit. We have kind of delved into Wildstar, but they've added a lot more to it. So it definitely doesn't feel like a throwaway game anymore. And I think part of that is, one, the hype for Episode 7, and 2, that kind of being a black smear on Disney now as well. I'm sure they've kind of gotten on Electronic Arts and said, look, fix your fucking game.
This game sucks. Why?
Yeah,
so they're going to make a difference, unlike every other company that's been like, hey, EA, don't be pieces of shit.
Well, I don't think anyone's come up to them with the money that Disney has. So they signed a pretty big contract with EA to have the Star Wars license. So I'm sure that came with some terms and agreements there.
You heard it first, legitimate. EA responds to cash.
Well, yeah, they're a business. I'm so sick of that argument in the video game world. Every single one of these companies is a business. They are in it to make money.
Well, the big thing about the business is they need to have return customers. Your largest income is the return.
Right.
So EA is like, oh, you really enjoy this game? Well, fuck you. servers are going down. Suck my
Right,
dick.
but see, there's the two companies that this argument is brought against the most is Activision and EA. Activision sells hundreds of millions of dollars worth of Call of Duty every year, and EA sells hundreds of millions of dollars worth of Madden every year, and NHL, and Tiger, and FIFA. So people are complaining that they're making the same game every year.
No, we're not going to mix all this up. And EA's big one is FIFA. But Activision, they got their fingers in everything. They don't give a shit anymore. They're all about the promos.
Right. Well, don't forget, EA also produced Titanfall, which has mechs.
But if you remember Titanfall, everyone that played the beta will be like, "Oh, the beta was awesome." Then when the live version hit, they're like, "What is this?" It's no, just no.
Right.
What would change? I don't understand what changed. I never played the game.
It changed quite a bit. They were
it's
balancing.
almost like the flow. It's almost the whole flow of the match. So it's a completely multiplayer change.
It felt a lot more
once
broken up, and the combat wasn't as fluid, and it was a letdown.
In the beta, the combat was a quick paced, like rapid fire. It felt like a Twitch style shooter.
Right.
But then when you played the live version, you were just like, this combat flow was a lot slower, even with your Titan.
Right. It didn't. Yeah, I mean, some people like it. But again, my guess is Rick designed it because it's Call of Duty with mechs.
Yeah.
That's all it is. That's all it is.
You could play it for hours. With the live version, I can't speak for everyone else, but you play like 6 hours, then you're good for a week. Like you don't feel the need to touch it again.
Right. Well, before we get too far away from Star Wars, the last big news is Harrison Ford might be ready to film again. Because I wanted to make sure I brought this up because there's two big things in this little paragraph here. Harrison Ford has been spotted walking around several times without any crutches or braces. So, people are suspecting that he's close to being back to filming. There's a big rumor, which everybody should be excited about. Simon Pegg. Now, I'm going to give Echo 7 a little bit of crap because he references Simon Pegg as Scotty from Star Trek. Whereas everybody which he did good, but everybody and their mother knows that Simon Pegg is Shaun from Shaun of the Dead. That is what he is known for. So Echo 7, get your shit straight.
Simon Pegg does a lot of good stuff, though.
He does.
He has Hot Fuzz. He has The Fear of Everything. He has actually a new movie coming out, too.
I don't know what Fear of Everything is. Never ever.
Fantastic.
He had what? Run, Fat Boy, Run.
Never ever call Hot Fuzz a good movie ever again.
No, I didn't call it a good one. I said he did it.
You said he has a lot of good stuff, and then you mentioned Hot Fuzz.
Yeah. He has another one too. I can't remember.
At World's End, which is fucking awesome. But anyway, so he's rumored to be being in episode 7. The latest speculation is that he's lending his voice to a CGI character, which should be very entertaining. Actually, and I didn't think about this in the pre-show as I was discussing this with you guys, but it would be awesome if Simon Pegg voices this trilogy's version of like Jar Jar C-3PO, because that would make that character so much more tolerable.
If Jar Jar's in this version, I'm gonna light some shit on fire.
He's not. It's been like 60 years. I mean, he might be, maybe, I don't know, but my guess is no.
I don't care.
He's gonna burn some shit.
See, I actually wouldn't mind if Jar Jar was here. I don't like C-3PO. And as I've said before, I think I might have even mentioned it on the podcast, I would take Jar Jar over C-3PO.
No.
Why?
Because I would take a retarded alien over a gay robot.
You can turn C-3PO down. Jar Jar.
You can shoot Jar Jar in the head. Plus, you have to thank Jar Jar for episodes 4, 5, and 6.
No,
I want to see what his planet turned out like, because he was the goddamn counselor. If it's ran into the ground and blew up, I would not be surprised.
Because if it weren't for Jar Jar, Palpatine wouldn't have had full control over the Senate, and then we wouldn't have the Empire. So
Misa planet's so fucked.
Rick, what's your porn parody name for Jar Jar?
Oh man, I think that I actually hate him so much I haven't come up with one.
Come on, it's Jar Jar.
Right.
It's Jar Jar Dinks.
I don't know. Misa Anal Fun Time 5. He's actually rated to 5.
Yeah, that's surprising. Too high of a number.
DEFCON 5. Oh, fuck. All right. Well, that sums up the Star Wars news. As morbid as we made it this week. We want to thank...
Wait. Misa Anal Fun Time 5 sums up the Star Wars news. Okay.
No, Simon Pegg summed up the Star Wars
We
news.
said that wasn't the sum, but all right.
Misa Anal Fun... I can't even fucking say it. Whatever. That wasn't Star Wars news. That was...
Hey,
Rick's...
Jar Jar, he counts.
Yeah,
He does.
That's the new rumored movie. Hey, they've got porn parodies of all the Disney Marvel movies, so they actually had a porn parody of Episode 4, which was mildly
Now watch Lord of the
entertaining.
Rings 1. Lord of the Thongs. And the Hobbits are now called Throbbits.
Hold on. The best part of that moment for me was watching Kory's cam, and he had this look on his face of, all right, where the hell is he going with this? And then he just burst out laughing.
We gotta bring the one thong.
Lord of the Throbbits.
The Throbbits must gather.
Man, if I didn't already promise the name of this episode to the SVG guys, then I would totally be naming this episode the Lord of the Throbbits.
Straight throb.
That's some Throbbit on Throbbit action.
One cock ring to rule them all.
It actually was a cock ring. Good call.
There we go.
Gandalf the Gay.
Gandalf the Gay. Hey, you know how appropriate that is because Ian McKellen plays Gandalf, and he's actually a homosexual.
Right?
Same as the actor that plays Magneto.
It's the same actor.
Alright.
Wow, you are no longer welcome on this show.
I don't see a lot of movies, goddammit.
Apparently you don't pay attention to him either.
No.
Anyway, so that's going to kind of wrap up the show. Any final thoughts, guys?
This DLC for Dark Souls is pretty sweet.
Is that why you've been quiet the last 20 minutes?
I haven't been that quiet.
No, yeah. Not as bad as Rick was when he was like 3 words in for the first half hour of the show.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry.
See.
No. I will admit to that. I was playing on Heroic for the Nax Ramus, the first wing, and I was getting my ass kicked.
On the first wing, way to be like a week and a half behind. Yeah, we didn't even talk about the second wing much, but...
Yeah, we didn't talk about it at all, so I was trying to catch up with it.
No.
They're definitely going to cover the new Nax Ramus wing.
Well,
And
usually...
I was on a new Barack on challenge mode, and he was like, "Oh, what's up? You came to my wing? Fuck you in the face. Now it's rape time." Then he was like, "Bam, summon mech." And I was like, "What? Shit."
Another one.
Brandon usually gets into the Hearthstone talk quite a bit, and Kory doesn't play it a super lot, so...
It's fun.
So I figured we just kind of round it up with, well, you know, once all the wings are out, we'll do a big
Well, my big thing is like, all right, if I'm going to do shoutcasting when you guys do your next Hearthstone, I should at least get top 100 NA for
Well,
Legend. I
do
should
what
at
you
least do it if
can.
I'm shoutcast.
Right.
And then I was like, all right, so I'm going to play it. I'm going to unlock the cards before I step into rank play. Then a new Barack on challenge mode is like, "Hey, here's my dick. Yep, smack you around with it. All right, bye."
Hey, here's my dick. Oh, Jesus Christ. All right. So, cool. Final thoughts from me. Watch House of Cards because it's fucking awesome. Aside from that, that's about it. So that's going to do it for today's show, guys. Man, next week is episode 10. It's crazy.
Woo!
I know.
Double digits.
Double digits. Rick, don't make a porn name. Just shut up and let me close the show.
I wasn't going to, but now I'm just doing it. Double D digits.
Anyway. Yeah, you don't do as good when you're put on the spot. So that's going to do it, as I said.
Nerd reference. You can't just be like, "Oh, here's a number." You gotta give me like, "Oh, you know, here's Dragon Age Origins." I can give you like 14 porn names.
Dragon Age Orgasms.
Yeah. Or Dragon Age in Horror Origins. Whatever works for you.
There we go.
Dragon Age 2 didn't happen. They didn't even make a second porn because that game was so bad.
No, it just all took place in the same bed.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
Like we can either reuse the same set, like they did in the same fucking game, or we can just skip it.
Oh, shit. Anyway. Oh, fuck. Thanks, everyone, for spending time with us this evening. As always, every Friday night, 10 p.m., 9 p.m., somewhere in that ballpark window. Probably closer to 10 until Brandon comes back. That is Eastern time.
That was my fault tonight, too. I was held up in traffic.
Yeah, it's all good.
Late for the podcast.
It's all good. No worries. No one would care but Brandon.
I meant for the viewers, for the time we actually finish it, everything else.
For the one person that watches it live.
Yeah.
Everybody else downloads it, which we thank you so much for doing.
He's one person, and he supports the stream.
He is.
The whole thing, he shouldn't be delayed. So I just want to give my sympathies to that guy, even if it's only one.
Even if it's only one.
Man.
He's a beautiful man. I don't know what he looks like, but I'll go off Kory's assessment. Anyway, yeah, so if you want to watch the live show, twitch.tv/Inked Geek Studios, 9 p.m., 10 p.m., somewhere in that ballpark. We're usually live for the pre-show prior to that. If you can't catch the live show, you can find us on iTunes. We are now on Stitcher, and wherever any other quality podcasts are downloaded. If you are listening on iTunes or Stitcher, please give us a rating. Really helps us out, helps the show up more, and helps more people discover this lovely show. You can also check out our recorded videos at bit.ly/igeekvideos. You can find Kory, Brandon, and myself on Twitter at IG_AudioKing for Kory, at John1Renicus for Brandon, and at IG_Nate Ward for myself. We also stream now and then on Twitch TV with our gaming and our Let's Plays and stuff like that throughout the week.
Yep, going to be doing that a lot. Just going to say that.
Nice.
How
For Last
beautiful
of
man
Us,
are we talking here? You said he was a beautiful man. This one guy. I'm saying Lord of the Thongs 2 is probably taking cast. There's always room for another Throbbit.
Not always.
Well, they're so small.
Frodo, Sam, and Dan.
Golem may be ugly, but you know he's packing heat. It's just like a fire hose.
That thong can't hold it all.
Oh my god. I'm not even going to bother with the rest of the outro. Fuck
And
you
they're putting
guys.
Max in it, too. It's going to be fucking Max.
Anyway, yeah, so since Kory said he was going to be live streaming, so you guys can find that. He is Audio King on Twitch. Brandon on Audio King. Brandon on Twitch is John1Renicus. And you can find anything that I do on the studio page, which is Inked Geek Studios. Before we go, we want to thank JC Monkey for doing our artwork. You can find more of his stuff at jcmcomics.com. And we want to thank Dustin Bay at Fara Audio, and he can be contacted on Twitter at bayatmusic. And last, but certainly not least, we want to thank our patrons, as always. And I really apologize for sounding tired and ungrateful when I say that. I'm just really tired. But yeah, our patrons are awesome. You guys help us bring the show to life every week. We can't thank you enough. Well, we can, but we don't know what that limit is. So we are going to keep doing it until we do. And if you would like to become a patron yourself and help support our show and everything we do for you guys every week, you can go to bit.ly/supportgeekaccess. And again, we do appreciate all of your support. As always, follow us on Twitter at all right, no more interrupts, Rick. Our Asian has to poop. As always, follow us on Twitter. And see, you actually interrupting is what now caused more interruptions.
I'm gonna just close out. I'm done.
No, it's all good.
He's an Asian. He should have a toilet in there with the computer.
Yeah, where's your high tech computer chair? As always, follow us on Twitter at IG_GeekAccess. Check out our website at inkgeekstudios.com. If you have anything you'd like to say, or if you would like any topic that we discussed on next week's show, go to our subreddit at r/InkedGeekStudios. That is it for Kory, for Rick, for the pooping Asian, and for myself. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Max.